And we're live in 5.
Mhm.
Did we even put out a thing, or is this a big surprise for everybody?
Yeah, I put it out earlier on our Patreon and our Facebook.
Face brute? Face
Yeah.
libre?
Lucha Libre, yeah.
Face libre.
All right. We are going earlier than normal, so.
Walk on by, which
And
is
I
good
just
for
got-
me. So
Yeah, I got announcements. So,
announcements. Wow.
like my phone just had pop-ups of we're live in places. And I'm asking you trivia questions tonight. Don't let me forget.
Okay. You got your cards?
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Um,
We got so
and
many things to talk about.
I got two Trek and Tells.
I have two.
Turn off your sounds.
Yeah. Yep.
Was that you during the foreknowledge? It was somebody.
It was me.
Hey, it's my favorite Star Trek podcast.
Author's
My two white guys.
prerogative.
Yeah. All right, we'll have to read that on there. All right, you ready to go? Oh, wait, I got to bring up the show notes. You have the show notes? Did you send me the link?
Yeah. I sent them last night.
Okay, let me go up there.
They're
Past
in
all the memes.
our usual chat.
Google Docs, I see it. Thank you. When the Bough Breaks. One episode, season 117, February 15th, 1988. Hannah Shearer, Kim Manners. Kim Manners! Okay.
That's for me.
All right. I think we're good. Ready?
Yeah, I'm born ready.
You've been ready. Born ready.
Born ready. Born ready.
How about show you that cup?
It's got
Hard to
like
see.
glare on it. I can't really see.
Yeah, it's Figment.
What's Figment?
Mascot of Epcot.
Oh, it's a Disney thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't know it.
They take 1/4 of my income. Hello, Trek Explorers, and welcome back to Trek Exploration. I'm Albie.
And I'm Chris.
And today we're talking about The Next Generation, Season 1, Episode 17, When the Bough Breaks. How you doing, Chris?
I'm trekking. I'm doing good. I watched When the Bough Breaks last night, and I got to write a big rundown, and then I tried to get a good night's sleep, and I just couldn't sleep for some reason, and the whole time I was thinking I could be on the mic live with Albie. But
You could be talking to Albie, playing Star Trek games, talking about Star Trek, watching Lower Decks live.
So that ship sailed from last night to tonight, and here we are. And that's how I'm doing.
Here we are. That's
Here
what
we are.
happens.
How about
Time
you?
goes by. I'm doing okay. I think I'm getting the holiday blues a little bit.
Holiday blues?
Yeah, trying to deal with it. Don't have Serenity this Christmas.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Kind of dreading. It's like impending doom, you know. But I have her for Thanksgiving, so I'm going to try to enjoy that and not let Christmas ruin Thanksgiving.
That's good,
so.
yeah. And you can have Christmas with her when you get her back. You know, you don't have her for that one day.
Oh, yeah. I do it before, you know.
Okay.
Instead of after, so because it's every other year I don't have her because her mom has her, so
yeah,
but we'll do it before.
As long as you get to celebrate something together, that's really, the day is arbitrary.
Yeah, that's true.
Laura's been working holidays our entire relationship, so it's rare that we ever did anything on Christmas together because she was always working nights. She always worked Christmas Eve and Christmas Day because we don't have kids.
Yeah.
So she would always trade with anyone that had kids so they could spend time with their kids. And then she would say, you know what? I get New Year's Eve and New Year's Day.
There you go. Because she got somebody handsome to kiss.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So but we get to go to a restaurant because we don't have any kids.
Oh, there you go.
No kids weighing us down. We don't have to watch New Year's Rockin' Eve and fall asleep in front of the ball drop.
Yeah. Dick Clark's not doing it anymore.
We get to go to the ball drop.
Now I think it's Miley Cyrus. But not last year. For some reason, there was some kind of sports ball game on or something. I was like, what is this? This isn't Miley.
I don't know. I feel like that's a program that is just, it's so 20th century. It's so mid 20th century mass market mentality. Like, is there still like a mass market watching something like a ball drop? That maybe the Super Bowl is the only thing that is still got legs like that, but I think it was Ryan Seacrest the last time I
Seacrest out. I usually watch who is it? Anderson Cooper. Depends.
Yeah,
unless Miley Cyrus was on because she had Dolly Parton on.
They had something with Kathy. Why am I blanking on her name? And then didn't she get like kicked off of it for saying
she
something?
got a little canceled for a while, but I think she's okay now. She got cancer, so she came back. So that's how that works.
Oh, so cancer exonerates you from being canceled?
Yeah, that's the cure. So
I gotcha.
But luckily, she's doing good. She was really good on Celebrity Mole. I don't know if you ever watched that show.
I don't watch any kind of celebrity reality shows. No. And
they're the best.
I don't especially like Kathy Griffin.
She's okay.
But that's me.
I get her humor. Not a lot of people do. Hey, we got some comments.
Hey,
for Tarocco says, hey, it's my favorite Star Trek podcast by two white guys. Woo! More white guys.
Considering that it seems like every Star Trek podcast is by two or more white guys, I'm going to take that as high praise indeed. I mean, because we are just a small drop in a vast ocean.
Which one is Trip and which one is Reed? Let us know. You can't handle being ready to go. The Omnipotent Willard. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Willard. And Roll for Tarocco says, is this the space accurate episode? There's no sound in space and it's pure darkness.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. Should put those on the stream.
There you go.
There we go.
I had something in my mind that just went right out. I got distracted by the comments.
Hopefully it comes back. No, you got distracted by my beauty, Chris.
That's true. That's 100%.
So we're looking forward to watching the parade. That's our tradition on Thanksgiving. What are your holiday traditions?
I don't watch the parade. Usually on Thanksgiving, I would host that every once in a while. So I was a lot of cooking the day before, a lot of cooking the day of. Like I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I start making my pies. And then I have to make the crust the night before so it can stay in the fridge overnight. And so then I got to take the crust out and let that get down to room temperature. So that when I roll it out, it doesn't split and crack. And I'll usually start some of my side dishes. If I'm making a sauce, I'll start on like the meatballs and stuff. But you can't go too early with that stuff. That's why I try to do all the desserts first, because they can cool and that'll be that. But when you're making everything from scratch, it's just always a juggling game. And whenever you just think you're on top of it, you think you got it. And then it's like 5 minutes before dinner time, everything seems to come crashing down around you. And it's just like, but I had it under control. What's going on here?
It's the worst thing usually every year for me, because I'm the only one that cooks, because I'm the only one capable. Everyone that comes over is too old, and Rennie was too young. But last year she helped a little bit, so this year she'd probably help a lot more because she's more capable. But always when I'm sitting down, I'm like, that one thing I forgot. What was it? I don't know. And it's always something that would take like an hour and a half to cook or something stupid.
Yeah. I'm pretty good with that, and I've actually started now if I have time. But quite frankly, I mean, I haven't hosted a holiday in a little while because I just work so many hours. And my sister is taking over because I used to do Christmas. We used to do Christmas Day, but then everybody had kids, and that was that. So now we occasionally do Thanksgiving, but other than that, I just do barbecues at my house every weekend now. That's what I do.
Barbecue turkey. What's your favorite
grilling?
kind of pie?
Grilling.
Grilling. What's your favorite kind of pie for Thanksgiving? Because that's different than the normal pie at a diner.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't really have like seasonal favorite pies. If I had to, you know what I want to try? You have like a vanilla pudding pie or a chocolate pudding pie?
That sounds good.
You've never had like I'm thinking, could I make like an eggnog pudding pie?
That would be amazing.
I would try that in a heartbeat, right? Put some nutmeg on there, and I think that would be great. So I got to see if they make, maybe I can do eggnog for like a vanilla jello or something like that. Vanilla pudding, like a Mighty Fine or, yeah.
I'd have a slice of that and call 911. That's how good that sounds.
Yeah. But my favorite kind of pie, hands down, easy, blueberry, 100%.
Blueberry's good.
Blueberry all day long.
Good.
How about
Wildberry's good. I like cherry pie, but Thanksgiving, that whole holiday season, I go pumpkin all the way.
Yeah, I don't like pumpkin, so I'm okay with sweet potato. I'm not crazy about pecan pie. I make pecan pie every year for Laura because she loves it, but I don't like my recipe. Like it never gels right in the middle. And it's a recipe I got like out of the newspaper 30 years ago. But she's like, make that. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, if people like it, it's tradition.
Yeah.
What is your favorite pie, crew of the Trek Explorers?
The Omnipotent Willard says mincemeat pie. I have never made. I've made maybe 1 or 2 savory pies in my entire life. And I've done it with leftover crust from my regular pies. We have like these little ramekins, so I would make chicken pot pies with what was left over. So
is that like a shepherd's pie, something like that? Or is it eaten cold? Is it like got jello mold in it or something? Or what's a mincemeat pie? Never had it.
I gotta guess that there's some kind of suet in there to keep it together, and it's probably served like in a like a pocket pie. They probably make it
Oh,
like a
so like
they
Sweeney
round it
Todd,
and they put the filling in, and they fold it over and crimp the edges.
something from Sweeney Todd, maybe meat pies.
Yeah, meat pies for sure.
Okay,
But
so it's definitely human.
but I think mincemeat is like especially spiced meat. It'd be like saying I'm gonna have sloppy joes tonight.
Try the priest.
So and that's what I was gonna say. Your trip because you're Florida man.
Oh, I am. Yeah. At least right now, currently in the geostationary orbit over Florida,
Yes.
because I'm getting excited to receive my daughter tomorrow. So I have to be in Florida area to get her, beam her up. My transporter's not as good as it used to be. All right, we are talking about Star Trek: The Next Generation, Season 1, Episode 17, When the Bough Breaks. Original air date February 15th, 1988. Day after Valentine's Day. What was I doing that year? Probably 88. I was still trying to find dirty magazines in the woods. Written by Hannah Shearer. Directed by Kim Manners. And Chris, would you be ever so kind as to read the episode synopsis you wrote for us?
Well, the reason I put the exclamation point after Kim Manners is because this is his only episode of Star Trek that he's ever directed, but he was a big director on Supernatural for a lot of its early run. He sadly passed away mid-run of Supernatural, but when I saw his name come on screen, I was like, oh my God, Kim Manners.
That's cool. So, I love that when that happens.
Yeah, so.
Hopefully
okay,
soon.
so When the Bough Breaks with the great Jerry Harden. Before he started twaining.
He's the original twainer. I'm so excited just to see him.
I wrote this last night, so I might stumble a bit. Will you catch me when I stumble, Albie?
I will catch you when you fall. Trust me.
The Enterprise discovers a faint energy reading and tracks it to the Epsilon Minos system. For some reason, Picard and Riker come to the inescapable conclusion that it can only mean that they found the legendary planet of Magrathea. I mean Aldea. But before they can grab their towels, a planet uncloaks an Aldean named Rochella says, "Sup, you hoopy fruits, let's be buds." Rochella then beams to the bridge with Aldean leader Radu. The Aldeans have remained. Okay, I know I spelled that wrong. The Aldeans have remained hidden for millennia, dedicated to the pursuit of art and culture. But despite their super advanced technology, Troy senses they want something very badly, something huge. And before you can say Slarty Bart fast, Wes and a batch of kids are zapped off the Enterprise. Turns out the Aldeans are sterile, and they led the Enterprise to the planet for the express reason of taking the children to rejuvenate their dying population. Radu tells Picard that it's a done deal, the kids are ours, but we'll compensate you with a store of our vast knowledge. Picard plays along with the negotiations to buy time to find a weakness in Aldea's planetary shields. Meanwhile, on the planet, one kid is learning to carve wood, one kid is learning to play some seriously bad MIDI music, and Wesley is learning what he can about the Custodian, the supercomputer that runs Aldean society. Wesley stages a sit-in, Data finds a hole in the planetary defenses, Picard fools Radu into one last negotiation, Riker and Data beam down on the DL, disable the Custodian and the shields, Picard has the kids beamed up, and Beverly learns how to cure the ailing Aldeans, who decide that over-reliance on the Custodian may not be so great after all. The end, so long, and thanks for all the fish. So long, and thanks for all the fish.
That's why I don't read these ahead of time, because I just enjoy you reading them.
I mean, obviously, I could not help but think of Magrathea when all of a sudden this planet just appears out of nowhere, this hidden planet that's just this legendary planet. And it's just like, okay, I mean, yeah. So what are your first impressions of When the Bough Breaks? After the stain, after the scourge that was Two Sass. We call it Two Sass here, around here.
Two Scourge season. Oh my goodness. It's better than that. It's one of those that, for me, it isn't great. It isn't horrible, but it's nice. It's Star Trek. It's like, the worst Star Trek's pretty good, usually. So I enjoyed it. It was a nice maybe palate cleanser after the last thing we had, And of course, Jerry Harden. The whole time I watched it, I pictured him as Mark Twain, and it just made the episode weird.
Okay. All right. It's like
But
Mark Twain caught without his mustache. Huh?
without his mustache. But it was cute, a Wesley episode. It was kind of like, man, they've done all these things before in different Star Trek episodes, but it's still okay. What about you?
You read my mind with that last statement. This to me feels like once again they're trying to channel the vibe of the original series with a lot of the same types of big ideas that the original series would try to capture and try to talk about, but I don't know how well it works. I really feel like this is where they're learning what they can carry over from the original and what will not work in this new dynamic with a more evolved sensibility, quite frankly. I mean, there are things that worked on the original series because there could be black and white. There could be, one punch, two punch, Kirk gets the girl and they fly away. They want to be so much more nuanced on Next Generation. And then you have like big, simple plots like this. Let's kidnap the children. So it's a weird amalgam to me too. It's a weird amalgam to me. And I guess one of the things that intrigues me is they finally, if you're going to say it's anything that's its very own thing, like a very next gen thing, they finally cop to the fact that there are children on this ship and something might happen to those children. So I thought that was a neat premise. So I'll give it that. But anyway, that's it. Yeah. I have a lot. I don't know. Well, we'll talk. We'll talk.
I got things to talk about. I got some problems. I got some things that I enjoyed. But we'll get there.
Yeah, before we start selling our children, we need to tell everybody how they can reach out to us. Subscribe, like, share for the love of Radu.
She's got a new book out.
Share, yes. Do you believe in spreading this pod? That's it. Now we can't monetize this episode. You can find us on our main site, which is trexploration.com. That's our new main site. Is it up yet? Or
there's only 2 posts, but it's there. You can go.
It's very sharp looking. Albie did a nice job on it.
Yeah,
really
I just have to, while I'm editing and while I'm working my day job that I do at 4 a.m, I just have to listen to one thing that I'm getting paid to do, and then I'll build the website as I go. So a couple weeks, it should all be there.
Okay, so in the meantime, you can always find us on our Patreon site as well, patreon.com/Trexploration. You can Instagram us at TrexplorationPod. We're apparently got a Blue Sky account now.
Soon.
That's why I couldn't find it yesterday when I was putting this together. So
yes.
Soon will be Mr. Blue Sky. Please tell us why you had to hide away for so long.
Smiling at me. That's where all the cool kids are hanging out nowadays.
There you go. So we'll have a Blue Sky soon.
The old clubs are closing and the new clubs are opening. That's what we got to do.
And you can tell us what you think about that Blue Sky account by emailing us, trexplorationpod@gmail.com. You can give us a call at 707-847-6682. Don't worry, no one will answer. It goes to a voicemail with my beautiful voice telling you, hey, leave a message. 707-847-6682.
Have we checked it lately?
847-6682. Yeah, I check it fairly frequently.
Okay.
And it seems ever since Quantum Leap podcast has gone away, not many people are taking advantage of the telephone number, but
we're doing 6 videos there this week or this month.
Yeah, true. People are taking advantage of the post office box. That's P.O. Box 542, Bayport, New York, 11705. You can send us anything you would like there. And you can also, if you want to support the show outside of Patreon, by the way, you don't have to support on Patreon to be a member there, but it would be nice if you want to see some of the End More features, the bonus features.
There's an End More on there.
Yeah, there is.
That only a few people got to see.
Yeah. And it's in rare form. I'm kind of glad that only people got to see.
No, it was great.
You can also support the show as a one-time deal with Buy Me a Coffee. That's buymeacoffee.com/Trexploration. And you want to support this show because we have even more new 3D content. I noticed that Albie just dropped the 3D-arized episode. That's the thing now, right? 3D-arizing it? I'm 3D-arizing it. We had our episode starring our dear friend Allison Pregler. She came and guested, and we spoke about Second Contact, which is the first episode of Lower Decks. So you can now get that on your Oculus Rift, and it'll be like we're in the room with you. So you lucky bastards.
That's my new hobby, collecting 3D things. Since I got the 3D TV coming, the projector, I've been going nuts on eBay on every 3D Blu-ray.
Oh, that's awesome.
Find at a reasonable price, of course.
I wonder if when you get that, if you can like set up a camera so that we can see like what it looks like. Is the effect do you need like special glasses
You
for it?
do.
Or is it
It's an
okay?
active shutter system. So basically, I got 2 pair of glasses, and they're LCD, and they black out each frame alternately. And what happens is the projector projects 48 frames a second, but 24 of them are for the right eye and 24 of them are for the left eye, and they sync up. So you see 24 frames like a normal film, but with both eyes, and they're 2 different perspectives. It's really cool.
Oh, wow. That's something else. So I wonder if you can do that with your glasses. Like if you need glasses to watch TV, can you put those over it?
Yeah. There's enough room in there.
Anyway, well, it sounds neat. So I guess the only way I'm going to really be able to test it out is if I go to your house. So
hey, you're invited.
Challenge accepted.
Just give me about 3 weeks to clean the place first.
You got it. You never have to clean
that
up
bad. I'm just that slow.
Yeah. It's
there's like ketchup packets everywhere. I don't know what to do.
I'm not really company. That's because you keep them in your pockets. I mean,
that's mustard. You gotta have pocket mustard. Do you still carry your pocket mustard?
No, nobody carries pocket mustard. You're an insane person.
Me and Rennie both carry pocket mustard.
And you're both insane people. You're raising an insane person.
What if you go somewhere and they don't have mustard? Perfect pocket mustard, right?
I'll live.
Okay.
I'll live. Well, we want to thank Pocket Mustard Everywhere, but we also need to thank our lifetime member, the Omnipotent Willard, who's already chimed in on the chat. Thank you, Willard.
Thank you, Omnipotent.
Anybody would like to know how to become a lifetime member like the Omnipotent Willard, you're going to have to hit Albie up on Messenger, and we can talk.
Email, maybe? Anything like
email,
that.
Anything like that. We can also thank our crew of intrepid Trek explorers, including our cadet Listen Linda, our lieutenant commanders Scott Seligman and Cosplay Dad, and our captain, the esteemed Captain Charles.
Captain Charles
from Texas.
Yes,
how you doing,
Charles?
Charles?
Texas.
Nice to see you, Charles. Nice
Captain,
to hear from you,
captain.
Charles.
Oh, Captain, my captain.
And we also want to thank everybody who is just hanging out here on the YouTube channel, commenting in the comments down below. Anyone that's on the Patreon site, just supporting us in general. Thanks everybody who is spreading the word about Trek exploration and joining us on this Trek exploration.
We have a fine crew.
We do have a fine crew, and they send some fine emails.
We got feedback?
Yeah, I mean, Listen Linda is a perennial. I mean, she sends us stuff. This is right up your alley. And actually, maybe she can do a video with Allison about this, too.
I have it. Look.
Oh, look at that.
We're just waiting for Rennie to get home. Hopefully, Friendsgiving coming up.
Cool beans. We're going to do a live Friendsgiving theme?
Maybe. I'm thinking. I got ideas.
Pretty cool. I'd like it. Yeah, you let me know.
Ideas.
You let me know. I can't do it on Black Friday. I can do it. Well, I got the opera.
Yeah,
but it's not a day opera. It's a night opera. Okay. So I could do a day thing. But you're awake at the night and asleep in the
nocturnal.
Day. Exactly. Yeah. So we got to figure it out. Got to figure it out. But Listen, Linda says that she has her own Trek intel. She writes, "I'm so excited. My Star Trek Wines Advent Calendar arrived today." Who the hell knew there was a Star Trek Wines Advent Calendar?
I love the sound of that.
She's going to share a picture of each wine when she opens it. Linda, what I really want to know is, are they full bottles of wine? Are they just like little nips like that you get on the airplane?
Either one would be great.
Yeah, and we want to know, is the wine any good? Or are you even allowed to open it, or does it ruin the collectible value? Wow. I don't know.
She should open it on the show when we're doing the live version right here, if she calls in.
Sure. I mean, we can do at least one or two if we record enough in that 25-day window, right?
Yeah, if they're this small, could you drink them all in one night and be okay? I don't know, because that's like what, 1-2 bottles maybe?
I know, if they're that big, it's probably like 3 glasses. You can get usually 5 pours out of a bottle. So depending on if you're doing a restaurant pour, anyway. Anyway, so Linda, I'm excited to see it.
I'm excited. That's amazing. I only know about the Star Trek Borg Advent Calendar. Have you seen that?
No, I don't have any Advent calendars because I'm boring. And
Serenity's doing 2 this year. She's doing Friends puzzle. It's 24 mini puzzles that add up to a big poster size puzzle, and each one of them is a Friends reference or joke or scene. Each 24 of them, so it's a Friends theme. She's got a lot of Friends themed gifts this year, and also she's doing a Wicked Advent
surprise.
Calendar.
Giant surprise.
Yeah, we kind of enjoyed Wicked. I don't know if you watched her review of it. She let me be on her show. She invited me on her show to talk about Wicked.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah.
I'm just so spoiler adverse to Wicked because you're saying that, there's huge twists and turns and things like that. And
Mhm.
I don't want to be now I was thinking about it today because I listened to a whole thing on the Imaginary Worlds podcast about L. Frank Baum and Oz, and they mentioned Wicked in it. I guess he's doing it because Wicked came out this week and everybody's talking
Makes
about
sense.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taking
He's
over.
cross promotion. And now, damn it, I think I want to see Wicked.
We want you to see Wicked. I feel so bad because remember that seat that was like by itself empty the same night, and I was like, I want to buy it, and you convinced me not to buy it for you.
Yeah, but then it was gone, and then
Yeah,
I could have seen it. I went
you
on
were
the
a gentleman.
standby line,
You were very
and
nice.
there were two ladies from Jersey that had
Mhm.
traveled hope against hope, and I was in front of them, and they came up. They said, "We have two, but we can't just give you one. There's another single person at the end of the line. Do you want to see if they want to take it?"
Mhm.
And I asked the girl, and she didn't want to go without her friends.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? They said, okay, we'll give you the one. We'll split it up. And I said, no, just give it to these two. They're dying.
Mhm.
They're
Mhm.
dying to see it. So, and they were
Yeah.
so grateful. So,
Yeah.
I wasn't wicked that night. I was wicked kind.
It's a great show. Spend the extra 60 and get the front row. It's nice. It's worth it. It's gorgeous.
Well, there you go. So yeah, once I see Wicked movie or show, then I'll watch your review of it, and I'll tell you how you're both wrong and how this is why it's good. This is why it's bad. Yeah,
That's
so,
funny. Yeah, I'm sure I'll put a link to that somewhere. Rennie's channel.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, I look forward to the advent calendar. I look forward to seeing, are they white wines? Are they red wines? Is it a rosé?
Yeah.
Do they have a nice red zin for like blood wine?
Some you're supposed to have refrigerated and some not, right? Depending on the type.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you don't have to refrigerate them before they're open. So
Right.
you want like a white, you'd want chilled, and a rosé too, you'd like chilled, and like some sweet reds too, like garbagey sweet reds. You want them cold to cut the sweetness.
Right.
But yeah, like a nice red wine, you want it like room temp. Anyway.
Speaking of advent calendars, have you ever watched Alison Pregler's advent calendar video?
I know of it. That's how come because you guys have been talking about the Friends Advent calendar and what you're doing on our common thread with Allison. Yeah, I know of it now. I haven't watched it, but I didn't know about it until about a week ago.
For some reason, that's Rennie's go-to when she's like falling asleep at night.
Oh yeah,
she'll put that on. So like I've heard it hundreds of times.
Gotcha.
But whatever works for her to fall asleep, right?
Yeah, I guess so. So.
Oh, we got something from the Omnipotent Willard. I'm still trying to find time to read the book Wicked before seeing the movie. Yeah. See, reading the book would be as similar as seeing the Broadway show first.
Yeah.
Because the twists and turns. Because there's not really big reveals in the first part. Because Wicked is part one.
Right. They're moving it. Yeah, 2 parts. I remember.
But it's still almost 3 hours for part one. But amazing film. Amazing film.
Does it hew closely to the stage play, or is it its own thing?
Part one ends when the part one of the musical ends, but before intermission. Yeah, so we just got a year intermission.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I think I wanted to buy Wicked, and I was waiting for it to be like in the dollar bin or whatever, and then it never was. When it came out, when Gregory Maguire first got on the scene. But I did buy a book that he did that was sort of like a retelling of A Christmas Carol. It's about Scrooge. It's somewhere, and it's one of my boxes here. When I get my library together and my life back, I'll bring all of these things off the shelf as we talk about them in real time. I swear, I have them. I swear.
You should just dump them all in a pile, and every time we talk about one, go pick it up and then put it on the shelf. And that's Chris's book corner for this week.
Yeah, no, wait until I get this room the way I want it, and we'll have a completely different background. It won't just be this corner, and the whole library will be arrayed behind me.
Are you going to go to Space Station like me?
I'm going to, unless it's a library in space.
Library. We've seen that on Cisco.
Space. So we got another note from our Lieutenant Commander Scott Seligman, and this is the neatest thing ever. He writes to us on the email, searching Trexploration was the subject line. And he writes, so there's a long story with me having a hearing issue, a custom podcast player that uses a robot to turn speech into text, and also having a hard memory and wanting to search for things I heard. But the short version is I wrote a little tool to search past episodes of Trexploration. Feel free to use it as you see fit. This is something that Matt would have loved, and I already used it for this episode because I was thinking we talked about a topic like this one. Oh, let me go to Scott's little doohickey. and I called it up, and I found the episode that I wanted. So thank you, Scott. It's already come in handy. It's now in my favorites. It's up on my menu bar as my favorite places. I'm going to use the hell out of this thing.
I'm going to try to incorporate that into our website so people can use that as a search tool.
So thank you, Scott, for upping our game when it comes to that stuff.
Very cool.
There's no way I would have been able to figure out how to do anything like that.
It's been useful.
So thank you, Scott. It's been useful for all of us, and it'll be a good archive of where we went wrong. And our last bit of feedback comes from our good friend Sugi, Damon Sugamelli. He wrote us on Patreon, and I guess it's tying back, coming full circle about that Allison 3D Second Contact show. He wrote in response to that. Maybe I should have saved this for the Lower Decks episode that we're doing, but what the hell?
We'll get more feedback. Send us feedback.
Send us feedback. Damon says, I don't have much to say about Lower Decks yet, as I still haven't caught up on, quote, new Trek outside of Disco Season 1. And after hearing the discussion on this first episode, it sounds like I'll probably be a lot like Chris with my up and down feelings about Lower Decks in general. But I just wanted to say it was great to hear and see Allison again. Hope you guys bring her back into the fold more often, Damon. So do we, Damon.
Yeah.
We love having Allison. I mean, it's like family now, and it's unfortunately we don't get to pod as much as we used to because she's just so busy. She's got this whole new wonderful life with her husband up in Canada, and she's doing it fantastic. So
she's living the dream. I can't wait to have her back, but I hate to impose on her all the time because, like you said, she's so busy.
Yeah,
I'm just so grateful when she is on.
Yeah, me too. So it's always fun to speak to Allison, and I'm thinking about maybe doing a couple of new things for the QLP in the new year, and I'm sure Allison will be on board with that as well.
For sure,
so she'll be around.
We'll do that with you.
She'll be around. So
she's a nice lady.
That's all.
You know what I love lately? Her and Phelan do these different collab videos, and they're just interesting. They might be just eating a new kind of candy or reviewing some kind of old VHS tape.
Yeah, I mean, talk about synergy. It's like you live with your husband is also a creator, and you can do creative collaborations right there. So
yeah, and I think they've been alternating. Like it'll be on one channel, then the other channel. So if you follow both of them, it's perfect.
That's great.
They did last one I watched. They did a review of Saturday Night Live, the Halloween special on VHS. So I ended up ordering the tape, and me and Randy watched the Allison Pregler Phelan thing, and then the tape. And
that's great.
Yeah.
Well, it was nice to hear from everybody. Thank you for all of the wonderful doohickeys to search our show and all the great comments. And I can't wait to see Linda drink wine live with us on camera.
That'd be great.
And again, we told you how to contact us. So please, everybody comment, send us your thoughts. Leave us a phone call. We'll play the audio for you.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Live on the YouTubes.
And then later on, if you want to come on the video with us as a call-in for like 5 minutes or so, that'd be great too. Anytime during our show towards the end.
Yeah, our live show can take live calls.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
It is cool. It is cool. So when the bell breaks.
When the bell breaks, I'd like you to start, and then maybe that might inspire me with ideas that I have, because my notes and ideas and thoughts are kind of scattered because it's less of a cohesive episode for me and more of a just things that happen.
I agree with you there, and that's where I think that this episode really tries to and fails to find the middle ground between Next Gen and TOS, because it was almost like the grab bag of, just choose your own TOS style cautionary tale.
Mm-hmm.
Is this one about isolationism and the dangers of it? Sure. Is this one about like elitism and hubris?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And of course the old Star Trek chestnut, over-reliance on tech. Dangers of technology. You are not of the body. You are not of the body.
Exactly.
That's what I was thinking. And then they tried to make like a statement about the ozone layer all of a sudden. It just turns into like this cautionary tale about the ozone layer. I guess we have to make it relevant to 1987 or whenever this aired.
88. I was using a can of Aquanet a week. So
yeah, I think you still are.
I actually did put a lot of hairspray in tonight just because of this episode. I was like, I think the ozone layer's better now. So I was like,
so of the tropes, the Star Trek tropes that we saw in this episode, do you feel that any one of them was a little bit more interesting or was explored a little bit more effectively than any of the other ones?
I don't know about more effectively, but probably the thing that stood out from the noise, which was just old tropes of the classic series, is just the I think the addition of stealing the children, because that seems something new to me.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, that's what I think helps make this a uniquely next gen outing is the fact that they have kids on the ship. So let's put them in danger, like I said up top. And I think that was the writer of this. Her name is it's all the way up there. Hannah Shearer. She pitched this, and she still says that this is her favorite episode that she wrote because of the children aspect, the children angle of it. Getting to write something for Will.
Yeah.
Which, it gets sporadic with Will in the first season. He's everywhere in the first 5 or 6 episodes. It's the Will Wheaton show. And then he kind of recedes quite drastically. And then they pepper him back in a bit. And I like the fact that they were able to use him here. It was very low key, so it wasn't like a lot of histrionics. I love the fact that this was an episode that starred, for a large part of it, children.
Yeah.
And it's not unwatchable because of that.
Yeah,
and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. these were good actors as children, and some were just children. I think the littlest girl, I don't know if she knew she was filming an episode, but she was doing great. I mean, and but like the little boy that carved the dolphin, he was really good. It was nice.
So the little girl was twins. It's Jessica and Vanessa Bova, like Ben Bova, the science fiction writer.
Interesting.
And Harry was the kid, Philip and Waller. They're probably older than we are now. I don't know.
Probably that's how that works, right?
So they were caught on Aldebaran. They were caught on Magrathea with all the radiation. And I know that Next Gen wants to be more advanced, more evolved. Violence is never an option. Even when it's the last resort, violence is not a last resort. Tell me you would not have come in. I'm sorry. And we're live. Fucking guns blazing.
And we're live. I would have gone Liam Neeson on that planet. I don't know where you are, but I will find you and I will kill you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I think the Beverly we know now from Picard, I think she would have went Beverly from Picard on that planet to get Will back.
You think so, huh?
Yeah, I would have. This is something that's interesting because when I watched it as a kid, I didn't think anything of it. I guess I thought I was like Will Wheaton. I was Wesley. So I was on the planet, like, he was my window into the world now. Now I'm a parent. No, you don't take my kid. Picard says that, that's one of our basic instincts is to take care of our kids, base instincts.
So I know when you watch this, does that get your blood boiling every time, or has it settled down since you've probably seen it so often?
Well, I know it's coming because I know it, backwards and forwards, but it bothers me, and it's weird because, all those people don't have kids, so they don't know that feeling. So I think that's why they're so oblivious to what they're doing, and of course, it's a different planet, different culture, all that stuff. But just they don't know what it is to have a child and to have that bond. And if somebody takes your child, that's the worst thing that anybody can do if they want to survive. And it's interesting to see what was the woman's name in this episode?
Rochella, I think she was the one that contacted them, the first one, the younger one, the last one that was born.
Right. And it was interesting to see her because as soon she bonded with that one kid immediately, and she was like, "You can't take my child," and I was like, "Duh, you can't take kids."
Yeah, but I mean, that child was for somebody else, and it's like,
yeah,
coming,
and that was
my cold dead hands.
That was a good act out, but like anyone who takes my kid, it's devastating and upsetting, and like I get my kid taken away 50 times a year, and it never gets any easier. It is always painful, and at least I have the knowledge that I'll see her again in a few days, But I could not imagine going through that as a parent, and I think I don't know what the script or director had in mind, but I think this would have been a good time for Beverly to get a little bit more upset, maybe like she did in the Naked Boner Planet episode.
Yeah, and I wonder why. It's funny you say that because I hadn't thought about it until you were talking about like the mother bond, and then where we've seen Wesley in dire straits before because of a planet's customs or whatever. In this case, it's just straight up kidnapping.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that they purposely made Beverly more of a voice of reason in this because they already did that with Jogging Boner Planet? Do you think they were in sync like that in the writers? Because I know season 1 was very haphazard and chaotic. So
seems haphazard and chaotic. And
Yeah.
if they had it all planned out for the season, they probably would have saved it for this episode. But I think they were right not to do it again. But because we would have just said that's repetitive and repeating what they already did. But I think this was the better one, because, well, I don't know, killing her son and taking her son is either one's bad.
It's tantamount to the same thing. You're taking your son away from her.
Right,
and,
right.
At least maybe this is the only cold comfort here is he'll be well cared for until he gets cancer and dies. But I think that they maybe went a little bit too far on the other side here because Beverly is the one in the conference room telling them, all the concerned parents, like the PTA meeting from hell. And
exactly, that one part.
And they're just saying, you're going to get our kids. And Beverly's like, well, we'll try, but we all knew the risks when we signed up. It's like, what?
She would not be saying that. That stood out for me. Like, somebody else would say that, I think. Maybe Chief of Security, maybe Tasha or something, right?
Yeah, and Tasha, where was Tasha in this episode?
She was on the bridge, but not much else. But like coming from Beverly made no sense unless she was trying to deal with the situation herself, and she was trying to compartmentalize and in some kind of denial or something.
I feel like that would have been a much stronger line and a much more damning, in an interesting way, line coming out of Picard.
Yeah,
because we all know that Picard is not good with kids. He's awkward at best. He doesn't really want to deal with them. And they've established that as part of his character. So maybe to show him in sort of a dickish light here, that would have been too far advanced for the TV at the time, right? I don't think that they were ready for quite so much nuance like that, where it could be a bad aspects of your hero character as well.
The line should have went to someone else, but just not Beverly, not in that situation. She should have been with the parents in that. But I think Beverly in this episode, if I was her and I was beaming down to have negotiations with him, I'd be putting, a phaser in my pants and go boop, 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 set the kill.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me. Like, I'm a non-violent person, but my instinct to take care of my child supersedes that.
I'm sorry, I laughed in the middle of your sentence because I was thinking about the scene in Airplane when they know the plane is going to crash and they have point counterpoint. And the guy says, they bought that tickets. They knew what they were in for. I say, let them die.
It's about the same thing.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was Beverly channeling the Zucker brothers there, I guess. But yeah, it just could have, I think that part could have been handled a lot more interestingly. And I think, again, this was Shearer's main thrust of writing the episode. What happens when the kids are in danger? They don't explore it except for that one scene and the one platitude. And why not show maybe one of the featured crewmen? I think it was Dr. Bernard or Lieutenant Bernard, who was Harry's dad, when they crashed in the hallway. Like, all right, you set this character up. Why not have him be part of the negotiations and go rogue or something? If you don't want to do it with Beverly, you don't want to do it with Picard. I get it. They're your core 7. You don't want to paint them in a bad light. But how about doing it so that somebody else who is not going to be around ever again is the one that instigates something like that? I think that could be an interesting wrinkle and to explore. Should we have these kids out here? We know that we're a vessel of exploration, but as David Marcus, what's it David? They called Starfleet a peacekeeping armada as well. So
yeah, he would have been great to go Liam Neeson on everybody.
Yeah,
because he could have died trying to save him or something interesting instead of just sitting around the table talking.
I feel like the episode wanted us to want the catharsis and dangled it in front of us, and then purposely said no, that's not what we're about in the 24th century. We don't have conflicts like this.
I don't think we'll evolve that much that soon. when it comes to taking care of her kids.
But it's also contradictory because Picard is incensed, like, and rightfully so. He's the voice of what you've committed an act of barbarity.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, now we're on board. It's like open fire. Oh, wait, you're not gonna.
I like that Beverly was the one that came up with the whole solution for the situation by finding out what was causing their sterility and how to fix it.
Yeah. So the 3-day thing.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a neat way to build time passing into the plot in a plausible way so that you could advance not only the story that they needed to advance with the cure stuff, find out why they're sterile and all that, but also show the progression of the kids, the novelty wearing off, and then them just being like, I want to go home. Mm-hmm. And it just gave it, I think, a necessary breather so that you could have realistic developments that seem like natural instead of TV, even though it's just a cheap trick. Oh, we're 3 days mm-hmm. away, so here's 3 days. Here's like a montage of.
It works.
Yeah, it worked. It worked well.
Yeah, it was much better than them being homesick, the same day.
Yeah, exactly.
Kids really wouldn't. They'd be like, "What's going on? This is new and fun."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if I had that thing to carve a dolphin, I'd still be there.
And I don't think they'd really fully comprehend that they would never see their parents again yet at that point. That's
true. It also gives Wesley something to do. I really liked the sit-in aspect of this mm-hmm. with Wesley, because again, he's not of course there's like they're 6-year-olds, but
yeah,
it's not like they can do anything to force their way out, so mm-hmm. we'll just be non-compliant. We won't eat, we won't talk.
It made me think this time. I was watching the scene where and Wesley wasn't eating much and the other people weren't eating much because they're all cancerous or whatever. So they have no appetite, but he wasn't eating much. I would have really liked to see him eat like a huge meal, like stupid huge, and then tell all the other kids that we're going on a hunger strike. But I just want an apple.
Yeah, you know what? Apple. Here's the thing: is like the idea of children is often so much nicer than the reality of children, and kids should just start shitting the bed. And like peeing in the corner and throwing like monster tantrums and being completely inconsolable like most kids get at points in their life.
Like, you don't want these kids.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, oh wait, can we send you back, please, Enterprise, please? Come and take these monsters away. But yeah, like, I know that Drusilla, or whatever her name was, like the last kid born in living memory, but that she's probably 23, maybe 25. She could be between 20 and 30. There have to be people on the planet who remember children. The vast majority of the planet, because they're so long lived and old, would have to know what it's like to rear children. So why is it such a shock to them to be like the reaction of the Enterprise crew? It's almost as if the idea of having offspring that are younger is so alien to them that they don't understand the enormity of what they've perpetrated. And it doesn't make much sense because they're all significantly older, and children have been being born on that planet, maybe less and less frequently, but to the point where someone who's still alive was the last one born. I don't know. I don't know if I'm making sense here, but it seems to me like the divide that they wanted the society to have with the idea of children, the actual having children, didn't seem that great. It's not like this lost thing to them. It's not like anyway. I don't know what I have if I had a point with that, but it's one of the few things that kind of bumped me, as you like to say. It just didn't quite gel.
For the live stream, my apologies. I'm having a technical issue, so give me 2 minutes so you can vamp for the live stream, but not for the show.
Okay. Well, I've been vamping too much, so.
No, you're doing great.
Do we know what the technical issue is? So,
my hard camera ran out of storage.
Oh, I got you.
Because I've been recording so much, and I guess I haven't deleted in a while.
So, I mean, we want to vamp. If anybody that's on the chat, I said Willard, yeah. Willard says that I never understood why, with less lethal options like stun settings, they didn't do a rush on with guns blazing more often. And it's funny because you do have that option. You can have the show of force, but but not do it in a way that is detrimental. I guess I should say lethal, right? It would be detrimental, though, because if you present yourself as this peacekeeping armada, as someone that can be trusted to run the quadrant, so to speak, I mean, because it's the Federation's game and we're all just playing it, maybe you don't want to go in guns blazing. It's the same thing that I read on some of the critiques of this episode. How come everybody has a cloaking device? And this is something I've long believed about the Federation. The Klingons have a cloaking device. The Romulans have a cloaking device. This planet has a cloaking device. Like, what's wrong with Federation scientists? And I've always been of the opinion that the Federation can design a cloaking device anytime. They stole a Romulan cloaking device way back in the 2022s. And they know how the technology works. It's just that, what are you going to use that technology for, if not aggression? It's an inherently, I would say, I don't know about belligerent, but there's no honesty there. So it's more of a principle thing for me, why they don't have cloaks. It's because that's not what we represent. That's not part of the ideal that we embody. We think that cloaking technology is nefarious on the face of it, and it doesn't have any place in the fleet until you get the Defiant in DS9, and I guess the duck blinds in the Ray Walsh, not Ray Walsh,
Wise,
the Ray Wise episode with the Proto Vulcans, and I guess that terrible
Who Watches the Watchers?
insurrection movie, right?
All right, going back, I'm going to take a beat, and I'm going to answer your question from back then.
Sure.
What was it?
Oh, I don't know. I was just vamping about the cloaking technology, which should make
Before
the real
that,
show.
The kids.
Yeah, no, just the whole thing about how
bed.
the society, that's what bumped me. The disconnect between, it seemed like this notion of, actual children was so alien to them when there were children within living memory of probably most people on the planet.
That does seem weird. And I think the episode suffers from being a TV episode with a limited cast, because you're only seeing this one building with this one room with these 12 people from this planet. Is there only 12 people left on the planet? They only took 6 or 7 kids to repopulate their species.
Yeah, you got to think they took more kids who were just seeing this cross section.
Maybe, but it wasn't stated, so I was very confused as what they planned to do, because that's too limited a gene pool to get anything done. At least there was more females than males, but still.
Yeah, the allegory aspect of this gets in the way of the reality of it. And so if you're talking about the hubris and over-reliance on technology and not being able to fix your own stuff and dying as a result, okay, that's one thing. But okay, then you're going to do this thing that's so monstrous in response to that. It's like one idea is too big and the execution to solve that problem is too small. You're not going to do anything with 7 kids. They'll just be there and it'll be drops in an ocean. It's like pissing into the wind, It's like there's not going to be any kind of positive result out of that. So
it was more like an example of an idea than actual what would happen, I think, in the episode.
Yeah, and that's where, again, where we come up against the allegory or the allegorical model of TOS and how it doesn't always translate well into a more modern TV setting, or modern for the time anyway. I'm trying to think of other shows or other episodes of Next Gen. I guess not Next Gen, of TOS, and The Children Shall Lead is the obvious parallel here, right? But with that, I mean, the guy was using these children, and it was plausible that he could use them with their jerk-off powers to save, to take over the ship. All right, Angel in his shower curtain.
That episode always freaked me out when I was a kid.
Yeah, so, that for whatever reason that works. This doesn't. So, and that's the other thing. Now, this has always been a pet peeve of mine. And you being a dad, we discussed this a little bit already, but I kind of find it to be a cheap trick, like a really hacky, cheap trick to put children in peril in order to create drama on any kind of show, because it's just so visceral. and there's no way that you can be against it or for it or whatever. You know what? It's designed to do a very specific thing, and it's just like sort of a lazy shortcut to do that. The funny thing is, that being something that annoys me more than anything, I didn't even think about it until today. I was watching it last night. I thought the episode was just fine. And I think I've seen this episode one more time before this. It's just occurring to me now that they're doing something like a trope that I think is just lazy writing and making a whole episode out of it. Yet it, for the most part, was a watchable episode.
Well, at least like they weren't killing the kids, because that's maybe a step too far. But like, because they were showing the kids, they were okay, and they're going to get them back, right? Still makes you angry, but it's not like one of those things where like they'll kill a kid in a story and it just devastates you.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, maybe because it is apples and oranges, right? You never really think these kids are in peril.
Yeah, it's not my girl.
Yeah. Wow.
I still haven't seen traumatized from that.
Still haven't seen it.
Really?
Yeah, but I know what happens out of left field. I've heard all the stories. Just out of nowhere. Oh, dun, dun, dun. I'm sorry. You've got faith of the hunt. Albie has a new Enterprise shirt. It is the mission patch for the NX-01, the one that you see today on Archer's sleeve all the time. Or is it on this sleeve?
What I liked about it is it wasn't like like a print your own counterfeit one. It's actually from it's actually licensed and from Hot Topic.
Wow.
So this is what the kids are wearing nowadays that want to become vampires.
I'm gonna do well, you do have the nail polish for it. Do you still have the nail polish?
Actually, I cleaned up.
Oh no.
Yep, I cleaned up. I didn't go with any color tonight either. Or glitter. I just went straight.
No color, no glitter, no weird glasses.
Yep.
You're going full Prue Leith lately. So.
Something like that. I'll look that up later.
Okay. Fans of the Great British Bake Off know what I'm talking. Yeah, so I love that the adults in this, they say that they want the children to have a great life and do this and do that, even though they don't care that they're ripping them away from everything they've ever known. But then they lay this guilt trip on Wesley, like, hey, you're the older one, man. We expect you to set an example. What's wrong with you? Don't you want them to be happy? It's just like, you manipulative fucks. And Wesley doesn't fall for it for a second. I love that too. I think they wrote Wesley smart in this. It's there was no bullshit where he starts to come around to their point of view or be sympathetic to the point where he's accepting of it. He's sympathetic or empathetic, I guess. But probably more sympathy than empathy.
Yeah.
But he's not an idiot.
No, and that might have been the push he needed to become the leader and take care of him and stage this like sit-in and passive resistance.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have to talk about the big stupid computer in the room.
That's such a Star Trek thing.
It is. It really is. And like the custodian... I've never seen the movie, but you have to tell me because I know you love it. Were they trying to do like shades of Idiocracy here?
Maybe in a way, yeah. Idiocracy. It may, well, we're living it, but it makes me feel like maybe every society is doomed to like just go extinct from their own hubris or technological reliance on technology, because that's really what's happening now. Like, what was it that came out with the elections? And we might have talked about it. I don't know if we talked about it on the show or over phone, but that people in Arizona, like that first time voting, they couldn't sign their name because they didn't know how to write in cursive. So like, it's already starting. Yeah, it's already starting that like people rely so much on technology that they can't function as a human in society.
Yeah, they don't teach cursive in school anymore, from what I understand.
No. So how do you sign your signature if you don't know cursive?
I think that signatures are becoming obsolete too. That's the thing. I mean, you're supposed to sign your signature on.
Do it.
I mean,
at least for voting.
I guess. Yeah, that's what they make me sign when I vote too. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're signing a digital pad, but you still have to sign. But they couldn't do it. They were just writing block letters.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I write. I only know how to do. I know how to write cursive. I'm really bad at it
Mhm.
though, so I can't. For me to talk about that is like the pot calling the kettle black. I moved like 3 times in this between third and fourth grade, third and fifth grade. So
Mhm.
I learned how to write cursive very rudimentarily, and then I just went back to all block caps. So
Um,
anyway, I have no idea how anything works. So I'm as bad as the Aldeans. I just like make it go. I'm a freaking pack lead when it comes to this stuff. To most
maybe.
stuff. I mean, I used to know how to put the pencil in the carburetor in my car to make it turn
Yeah.
over and change my oil or dump some oil in. I used to know how to do that. But I mean, now it's like I feel like I climbed Mount Everest if I replace 5 transistors in a radio from 1970.
Ugh.
you know and you're
I
you're rebuilding VCRs and putting Bluetooths in things, and you're a
I'm
tinkerer.
slightly different. I'm slightly different because I need to know how everything works. Like I've met people that don't know where soap comes from, and I just like look at them like, okay, but like raising my daughter and especially being a single parent, um, my whole goal has been, okay, who knows what the future holds, right? So I'm not like a crazy prepper or anything, but I want her to be prepared to take care of herself if she needs
Okay.
to. So I teach her how to, I taught her how to change out a hot water heater, how to fix pipes, how to, simple repairs and things, how to fill air and tires, just the general electronics and mechanics, how stuff works. So
Yeah,
she has the ability to do it, and
I
that
can I can say this. For me, it's more of an electronic thing. But good, finish your thought. I apologize.
and the other reason was I don't want her to have to rely on anyone for anything. I want her to be with someone because they're kind to her and she enjoys being with them. I don't want her to be relying on anyone. So I want her to be self-reliant.
And I tell you what, being a property owner really teaches you how to do stuff, especially if you don't have money to pay people.
Mhm.
I mean, I learned how to do plumbing because
Mhm.
because I needed to. I learned how to do. I still am very afraid of electrical stuff, but I know how to like install a fan or something like that because I've needed to learn those things.
Mhm.
You know, so yeah, the more analog mechanical is, you can sort of figure that out, and there's always a YouTube video for it.
Yeah, that helps.
When it comes to like the digital and the electronic stuff, though, it's tough. It's like
It is.
it's a completely different world to me.
When
So,
things are so microscopic, sometimes all you
yeah,
can do is switch out a board or a part, but you still don't just throw away the baby with the bathwater. So if the laptop's not working, you figure out why and you get the part, you don't get a new laptop. At least my thing. But this past week, I taught her how to fix a leaky faucet,
yep,
and
yeah.
she did it all herself with my instructions, and it was great. She pulled out her little toolkit and did all the things.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's funny because you have to do these things very sporadically when you're a homeowner.
Hmm.
So I remember like installing the entire sink in my bathroom upstairs when I first
Nice
got
job.
here. And then it was leaking or something. It wasn't
Hmm.
working right. And so I had to put in a whole new drain. And I completely forgot how to do it. Like I had to look up how to do it again, even though I'd done it. It's been so long. I'm not a plumber. I don't do it every day. And it's like, oh yeah, that's what. Oh yeah, and that's and I broke that. I have to go buy a new one of those. So it's always constant learning, teaching yourself, crawling under your house, fixing a broken pipe because
Hmm.
there's water spewing everywhere, and you have to get it to stop somehow.
Yeah.
you know.
I've been there. When I bought my first home, the first night, I was putting boxes in the garage, and I hit a plastic pipe because the place had been repiped from copper to plastic. That was the thing back then, and it was so brittle from the Florida like just heat and that I just set the box against it, and it just burst open, and it was like 2 a.m.
Oh,
Nothing was open. I was like, well, time to go and get parts and fix it. So,
yeah, right, right. First, I got to learn where the main shutoff is for the water. So,
oh, and it didn't work. And I
oh,
didn't have a curb key, so I had to go get a curb key to shut off the water at two
holy
in the morning, 3 in the
moly!
morning. Luckily, Walmart was open 24 hours back then. So
So you had to go through the thing that's in your front lawn, the main line, and
yeah,
reach
and
down and
yeah,
turn
you
it off
have a
from there.
certain metal rod with a
Uh
tooth
huh.
grip in it then you got to lefty loosey it and righty tighty it and stuff.
Wow. Wow.
But I was like, I'm a homeowner. Yay.
There you go. There you go. So we were talking about Star Trek at some point, weren't
I
we?
think so. So one thought I thought, one thing I thought of during this is like a couple things that would have kind of messed up the idea. Yeah, like I know we're in the future and everything's perfect, but there has to be some kind of orphans, right? Looking for parents. Couldn't they come up with some kind of culture exchange program and like kids that are looking for parents, bring them to this planet? I don't know.
You know, it would have solved all of Worf's problems, let me tell you. Shittiest dad in Star Trek.
Yeah, worst ever.
Yeah,
Anywhere.
yeah. I mean, Alexander would have had a better life anywhere except under Worf's tutelage, but
and we know
this
how
would
he
have been
turned
perfect
out.
for him.
He turned out messed up, time traveling and everything, trying to fix it.
And also on DS9, bitter and resentful, and basically like "F you, Dad."
Well, he was all Worf was all about Jadzia. I'm saying.
Yeah, Worf was all about "you embarrass me." So anyway,
like Brian Bonsall, good guy. The other thing I was just thought of watching this episode, I got random things. It's like no more cohesive stuff.
Yeah.
Like they're all just sitting around the table eating different kinds of fruit and different things. Like, does Beverly carry an EpiPen with her? Because who knows what's in these fruits and vegetables and different things? And like, how do you know you're not going to get an anaphylactic reaction or something?
Do you think maybe she scanned it on the DL when she?
Maybe that's proper procedure and we just don't see that part. But I was like, what if it's got kiwi in it or something?
Yeah, I think they were counting on these people to be really stupid because the medical tricorder is like half falling out of her pocket. They're supposed to be palming. I guess it's the portable tricorder, the little
goes,
the McCoy salt shaker tricorder.
Yeah, it's that big, and he's like, oh,
yeah. And he's standing behind her, and it's like he's basically holding it in front of her face.
So apparently this old lady's cancer makes her oblivious to everything because she can't see or hear.
What's in that room? I don't know.
I don't know.
What am I doing behind you? I don't know.
It's a 2-foot model made from old model parts.
Yeah, okay. Let's talk about that scene because I thought that was such an effective scene. The set was fantastic, and then I was reading about how they made that, and you said that it was revealed on an episode of Reading Rainbow.
Yeah, if you watch the Star Trek Next Generation episode of Reading Rainbow, where the book is, I think, the Bionic Bunny, you could see it on YouTube. But yeah, they show you how they composite visual effects with the actual filmed elements, which in this episode is the one where they yeet the Enterprise 3 days away. So they showed you how they made that. And then they showed you Rob Legato, which was a special effects supervisor at the time, shows you the actual 2-foot model of that big power source. And LeVar gets to hold it and stuff. I sent you a link. Maybe you should watch it.
And I was reading Mike Okuda said that he built that out of a couple of different model kits that they just mashed together.
Yeah, it's just kit bashing, they call it. Like prop houses have like just tons of kits. And like a lot of those things that come on the sheets that you punch out, they'll use those. Like if you look at the Borg cube, it's just a whole bunch of those put together. Like the empties.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
It's really cool. Yeah.
It reminds me
Michael
of...
Okuda's in that Reading Rainbow. He doesn't say anything, but you see him in the background.
Oh, cool. Yeah. But it reminds me of like the things that were on the walls of the original series. If my friend and fellow podcaster Rick Tetro is to be believed, a lot of that stuff was just like packing material, like styrofoam that they would get in packing crates, and they would just like spray paint it red and glue it to the wall. And that's how they did it. And it's just like, okay. And they even showed some of those on Starbase 80 on Lower Decks.
Well, there's so many of those things in sci-fi that Red Dwarf mostly, but all of them, like even Alien. When you watch Alien and you look at it, like you'll notice things like that, and they're just packing containers. I watch things on YouTube on how to make sci-fi looking sets. Not this one. This one's a real space station.
That's true.
If I ever wanted to have a sci-fi set. Ooh, we're getting a call. Would you like to take a call?
Sure. We have a call?
We have a call from Omnipotent Willard.
Oh, Willard. How are you, Omnipotent Willard?
Let's see if we can connect.
There's the
Poughkeepsie,
man.
go ahead.
There I am.
It's the Omnipotent Willard.
Hello, sir. Our
Hello,
lifetime
your
member.
Omnipotence.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You're coming in clear.
Yeah, I've got the sound streaming to my hearing aid. Apparently, I'm not hearing myself.
Okay. I think it does that on purpose. That's a Riverside thing, so you don't get an echo feedback. Yeah, my
Okay.
mom has those hearing aids too, and they do that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I just got the camera today, so I thought I'd give it a shot and see how it works.
Wow, it looks great. You're looking great.
Yeah, welcome to the show. It's
You
nice.
look very
nice
omnipotent.
Yeah.
So, what's your thoughts on When the Bough Breaks?
Not a whole lot. I haven't seen it in a while. I've been doing a rewatch, but I had to put it on hold because new fall season started, and I watch tons of shows.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I was reading when we went through this. I guess maybe I'll circle back to it in case we have an edit point in the show after it's released, after it's edited. But you had written that you were always curious as to why, if they have stun settings and less lethal options, that they don't rush in with guns blazing more often. And I was of the mind that that's not a very representative action if you want to embody whatever these Federation ideals are that they're trying to extol throughout the universe. So it's like, I think they choose that they can do it, but they choose not to because that's not who they want to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That's true. One thing I thought about too is they also have the wide dispersal.
Mm-hmm.
So beam him, shoot
That's
the trigger,
true.
and everybody's down.
Yeah, Kirk did it. Kirk did it on Lander's planet.
That's true.
I believe it was Land. No, it was Piece of the Action. He did it
Yeah,
on
Piece of the Action. I
Sigma
picture him
Iosha,
falling over.
the Iotians, right? Yeah.
I think Picard would have went there had he had no other choice by the end of the episode. He wouldn't have left the kids there, no matter what.
Oh, hey, buddy, who's that?
That's Goober.
Hey, Goober.
Hello, Goober.
We love you, Goober.
Welcome to the show.
He's my barcode. The other two stay quiet unless they see something out the window.
Aw.
So, you know what? Thank you, Willard, because this is actually something that when I was watching the show, I was like, oh, that's why they did that.
Oh,
The reason that they didn't go in guns blazing here where everybody expected them to is because of the shield, the planetary defense. And I think they maybe wrote the shield into the script to eliminate that as an option to give the show a little bit more tension. Otherwise, it could have been over in 10 minutes.
Mhm.
So...
That's true. That's true. And they weren't really beaming down. They were getting beamed away. So they didn't really have time to bring weapons. And with that technology, they might just have beamed down without their weapons, even if they had them on them.
I think that
No,
Disco,
Oh.
they would have just had their bracelets and it could have been anything.
Oh yeah.
They could have made
thought
right.
phaser.
Yeah, my thought phaser, and then I'll make a feather duster, and then I'll make a fork to eat some of this nice fruit, and
Yeah.
you know,
And hopefully not get an allergic reaction.
then I'll make an EpiPen out of it.
So, Willard, how are you feeling being a member of the Q Continuum now?
Well, there's one cube make a continuum.
Well, you're not thinking fourth dimensionally.
I think they're all one Q.
I think we
Yeah,
need a few
I
more.
think it is. He's talking to himself most of the time, I think. So that's great. We want to thank you for doing that for us.
Well, I was able to. Not something I'm able to do very often. So
No, thank you so much.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward. I know that you had teased that there's something coming to the PO box too, so I can't wait to do a live unveiling on camera with that.
well, I haven't. They haven't shipped yet. I'm still waiting.
Okay. I'm going to look forward to it with bated breath, sir.
Chris loves that P.O. box.
I love that PO box. It's so analog. That I get. There's no circuits in that at all. No circuits in that at all. Snail mail. That's my speed.
All right. Before we let you go, Willard, do you have any final thoughts and ratings on this episode?
Yeah. What are your silly objects?
Well, again, I haven't seen the episode in probably a decade or two, so it's hard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've watched any Next Generations. I did start to do a rewatch, and then I put it on hold to watch it with you guys when you guys started up, and then,
Cool.
like I said, the new fall season started, so I've been busy watching tons and tons. I mean, I'm getting behind.
What's your new favorite thing on right now with the new season here?
The new Matlock. I like the new Matlock.
Yeah, that's looking good.
If-
I'm very intrigued by
I'm gonna
that. I haven't watched it yet.
If you haven't seen it, I can't say much, but the first episode was a little twist towards the end, and it's totally different than what you expected from the original
Oh,
Matlock.
cool.
It's
Mhm.
got a great story to it, and it's I just can't say much without spoiling anything.
Right.
It's Kathy Bates,
Yeah.
so I'm figuring she wins cases by just hobbling the judges
It-
with the sledgehammer.
It's Kathy Bates, and it's also her last show. She's going to retire when the series is over.
Okay, I don't mind that.
You know,
Yeah,
who else?
I love the original Matlock.
Well, I've never seen Matlock, but who recommends the Kathy Bates version?
You really don't need to watch the original Matlock for this one.
Oh, don't worry. Even if I did, I wouldn't. So we're all good on that score.
Yeah, I've watched all of Matlock. I think back in the days when it was on in the afternoons.
Yep,
My new favorite show, or not new favorite, but my favorite show, the new ones that are airing right now is Survivor. I can't miss that.
no, see, I do watch some reality, not a lot, but Survivor I never got into. I didn't start watching reality until probably about a year or two ago. So Survivor, anything that's been on longer than the last couple of years, I haven't watched.
Yeah, that's season 47, I believe, right now. So it's a watch.
They got more seasons than Doctor Who.
With the exception, I just started watching The Voice because of Reba McEntire.
Ah, very cool. I like Reba. Saw her in concert once. Really
Her
good.
new show, Happy's Place, is pretty good too.
Cool.
Very cool.
Well, it's amazing that we finally got to see the Omnipotent Willard face to face. You just
Love it.
On camera now. You've been popping into our dreams here and there.
Yeah,
Just
very handsome man in real life.
Your omnipotence, it has its perks, I guess. But
Yes.
Well,
all right. Well, thank you so much, Willard.
I just got one last thing for Chris. Babylon 5 podcast.
Say again?
Babylon 5 podcast.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Yeah. Well,
I'll
maybe
put a vote in for that.
2025, the year of Babylon 5.
Yeah, it's a time thing. I think it's a time thing.
It really is a time thing.
It is, yeah.
I feel like my schedule is I'm going to put this out there. I feel like my schedule is going to change significantly come like February or March. So I might have more time for things. So we'll see.
Are we spending Valentine's Day together, Chris?
Yes, that was it. I'm eloping with Albie, and we'll be living on an island, and we'll have all the time in the world.
Hinting a little bit.
We'll just be dipping our toes in the lagoon and podcasting all day long.
All right. Thank you so much, Willard.
No problem.
Have a great night.
Yes. Yep. Keep coming back.
Yes.
Thank you.
And
how do I
don't know.
How does
you might be saying longer than you wanted to.
Maybe. How does this work?
I need to leave this on for a minute too, right?
After you hang up, then you just got to wait till it says upload complete, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure this out. Oh, I think I can figure this out. Maybe.
Don't you
learning as we go. Okay. Have a great night, the Omnipotent Willard.
Will do.
Thanks for everything.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
And
there we go.
I figured it out.
We did it. See,
Woo,
we're not idiocracy. We're not Pac-Lads. We did it.
No, not quite yet.
Right.
I am a little bit with the new technology, but I try to keep up.
You know who else?
Willard
recommends.
So happy to see him.
Who else recommends the new Matlock? Is the beautiful John Irons, friend of the show.
Really,
raconteur, Mr. Captain Game Show himself.
I was intrigued by the previews, so I'll get there. Yeah, I like Kathy Bates. She's good and stuff.
Maybe one day.
And I did watch the original Matlock, and I talked to the hot blonde from Matlock.
Right, for Quantum Leap.
Yes, from Quantum Leap. That works out.
Right.
So that's cool. That's good. You don't watch Survivor though, right? No reality.
No, the funny thing is the first and really the only reality show I ever watched was the first season of Survivor when it was such a phenomenon, and I thought it was great. And then I quickly soured on the medium because I realized how staged and scripted it was, like almost right off the bat. I guess maybe it's a writer thing. And
the situations are set up, but I think the interaction and getting to know the people is my favorite part. So,
and I think we discussed this on the Circle Line, or maybe when we were going over to the Ellis Island or to Statue of Liberty. The only other show that I think is worth a damn competition-wise is The Amazing Race, and I haven't seen that in years. But I used to love watching that. That was a lot of fun.
Great.
That was a lot of fun. So
I'm 2 seasons behind, but I'll do that on when Survivor's not on because I have limited time. So
I'm 17 seasons behind
on The Amazing Race.
Yes, but again, I watched it for a very brief stint, and now I just like scripted stuff. I mean, I just got off The Penguin. That was so good, and
oh yeah, I can't wait to watch that. That's on my list.
And
I think I like reality TV because it's a very lonely place. This space station. There's nobody here. I have Serenity half the week, but the other half of the week it's just basically you. So I watch these reality shows.
What more do you need?
I know you're awesome, but you're only 4 hours a week. I got to fill up the other, I don't know, 70 something.
Oh my goodness
hours,
gracious!
That I'm awake, but this replaces human interaction when you get to know new people.
Willard says, just stay away from any Matlock spoilers. That speaks to the state of 21st century television when Matlock has spoilers.
On the original show, the only spoiler was the person accused of it probably didn't do it, and Matlock will figure out how and who did it.
Right. At least,
I won't see any spoilers.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just watch that tonight. Yeah, I've been wanting to watch that, and he is omnipotent, so he knows stuff, so he knows what I like. So
there we go.
I'll do that.
There we go.
That's awesome. We had a call in. Thank you, Willard.
Yeah,
the omnipotent Willard.
Is there anything left on the rundown that we haven't discussed?
Let me look at my notes. You can look at yours.
Yeah, I know we talked about. Just the thing with the Riker, the Riker. I like the Riker stuff in this. I like the fact that they tried to make this a quasi-Riker episode. I was a little confused as to how it could only be Aldea. I kind of made fun of that in the synopsis, but it seemed an awfully convenient thing to introduce, and there it is. Like, why would they? If they knew, like, this is where the fabled Aldea is, wouldn't they have found it long time ago? I mean, Worf found it in 4 seconds. Oh, look, there's a distortion over there. Whoops, our cover's blown.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Mysteries and legends, and you know what it reminded me of? The Enterprise episode Terra Nova, where there was that planet that was like a mystery.
Is that Shale? The Shale one? That's the worst episode of Enterprise you just mentioned there. Spoilers.
It's not the best.
Spoilers.
It's fun.
It's a pile of shale. But this is what I used Scott's searching tool for, because I feel like this had come up previously, and it was actually Picard talking about space legends and myths in Haven. So that seems to be another theme that they're weaving into season 1 anyway, of just the vast unknowable spaceways, and it has its own unique urban legends and things like that. What do you call stellar legends, not urban legends, right? Like it's almost like they came down from, even though he didn't exist yet, but he did exist. Travis and his whole boomer family started all this stuff, and they're still talking about it in Picard's time.
I like that they added this little bit to Riker, because you picture him like liking stuff like the Bermuda Triangle or like the classic ones, and he's probably got Time Life Mysteries of the Unknown on his shelf somewhere that we're not seeing. And
we haven't seen Riker, like mischievous Riker, that much yet. So this is nice. He gets that glint, that sort of that Riker smirk, and it's nice to see. Jonathan. It's nice to see Jonathan lean into that aspect of the character, because one of the few things I watched about Next Gen, I don't know what it was an interview with Jonathan, and he said that Roddenberry told him that he had like this Machiavellian glint in his eye, and that was why he liked him for the role. I'm not really sure I know what that means, but I know it when I see it, and I think we see it in this episode.
I know what it means, not from the description, but having met him a few times in real life. I know that glint. It's like real.
It's like, you charming bastard. You don't even have to try.
Like, you look at him and you want to get him a cup of coffee or maybe whatever he wants. I don't know how else to say that, but he's got that charm factor. If he ran for office, he'd probably win. But it was interesting, but they kind of dropped the ball with that, because they didn't go back to Riker being interested in anything other than the legend at the beginning, right?
Well, I guess, then they had the Haven stuff. I would just be curious to see if it's something that they keep going back to until they get to that candle. Do not light that candle.
Do not light the candle.
So
the only other thing that stuck in my mind with this thing was like the girl that was doing the music, she was just like holding it and feeling music.
Mm-hmm.
And then the carving tool with the wood where he was thinking dolphin and it was making dolphin. So it was kind of like AI art, and they were like prompting it way before any of that was even a concept. But maybe that's something where they're not really making the art. They're kind of just like prompting the technology to make the music or the sculpture.
See, I saw it completely differently. With the sculpture thing, I didn't think that it was guiding his hand. I think he was guiding the thing. He just learned how to use it. It was so cool the way that thing worked.
Okay.
That was a nice effect.
It was cool.
And I feel like, and this is a little bit of a digression, a little bit of a deep cut, but one of the few things that I remember about Stephen King's book, The Tommyknockers,
I like knockers.
was it was basically about alien invasion. And there's one character in the book who's a writer, and she sets up like a whole thing of like an egg carton with a bunch of batteries and wires, and she hooks it up to her typewriter, and it somehow taps into her subconscious, and the book just types itself based on what's in her head. And it just flows out as it would if you were able to just access it fully and completely in the moment. And that's what I think that weird Merlin looking MIDI player was supposed to be doing. It was supposed to be getting past all of like the fingers and the stumbling and the mechanical aspects of it that could just impede the flow of the creativity as it exists in your brain. And maybe it's tapping into whatever nerve centers are actually creating the music instead of trying to perform the music.
Just a different type of tool. So instead of having to play music with your hands and teach the muscles how to do it, it's more of a direct connection.
Right. And I feel like any one of us could grab that thing and at least make some kind of music. Make your own kind of music. Let's get Desmond on the show now, brother.
Oh, me and Rennie were singing that in her Wicked podcast. I don't know if you watched that. Maybe you didn't watch it yet. A lot of spoilers. But we were singing because I think their tagline was "Make your own magic." So we were singing "Make your own kind of magic," and we went off on tangents. But that's what we do, you know.
Nice.
The only last thing I got for this episode that I noticed only this time watching it was like a little joke, because when Jerry Harden says, "I'm not that good with children," it's funny because he's telling that to Picard, and Picard's one of the first things he says is, "I'm not that good with children," and Patrick Stewart's reaction to that was just hilarious. If you get to see it again, I don't know if you caught on to that one.
Yeah, I think I did in the moment. Yeah. So
I just thought that was funny, and I laughed out loud.
So yeah, what really didn't work for me here though was the hug scene at the end and the whole bridge crew like cracking up that Picard is so uncomfortable. Like they tried to make it, that's another like a TOS thing where you have like the little moment of levity and the light music on the bridge, and then everybody laughs and they fly away to the fanfare.
I think that was a direct lift from The Trouble with Tribbles, because they were laughing that he had that little fur ball on his back.
I don't know. I don't think they were. I think they were just laughing that he was awkward.
Maybe. But then he walks away and he has a fur ball on his back that she had as a doll the whole episode. So I was like, oh, that's a little bit of Trouble with Tribbles at the end.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's something that completely failed to stick the landing. And thank God they didn't try to do it on Next Gen the way they so effectively did it week after week on the original series. So.
It's like the biggest drama, like for 40 minutes and then 2 minutes of levity.
Yeah, 2 minutes of let's make fun of Spock.
Yeah. Yeah, you got pointy ears. Everybody laugh. Play the funny music. Okay, we're out.
Let's be xenophobes. All right. See you next week. All right, who's your episode crush?
I'm going to go Brenda Strong as Rochella. Is that right?
Yep.
Yes, the youngest member of the planet that is dying of cancer.
That was the right answer.
Yes.
Good for you.
You, same?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She's gorgeous, right?
Yeah, nice looking lady.
I might have to look her up on the Insta.
Nice looking lady.
Yeah.
And a good actress, too. I liked all the performances in this. Regardless, even, like I said, even the kids were passable. They were fine.
Yeah.
They could have played Harry was good. So
yeah, he was really good. Jerry Harden to me is always Jerry Harden or Mark Twain. So it's hard for me to not see the actor, but you know, it's hard for me to see the character, but she was really good. She didn't seem like she was acting at all, or, you know, she was miles ahead of whoever that actress was on Too Short a Season. Yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed her acting.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
And what was your favorite part of the episode?
I'll let you go first because I have no idea.
Honestly, it was the reveal of the the companion? What the hell's the name of the computer? The controller.
Landrew?
The controller, yeah.
Control.
It was the
Spock's
reveal
brain.
of Landrew's guts. I just really loved that model. I thought it was very I think I just figured out why.
Okay.
In a sea of bland sets, bland one-room sets, even the computer core where the controller was, very beige, not very dynamic at all. And then all of a sudden you have this reveal. They walk into this giant open space with all of these colors and lights. And it was a nice visual juxtaposition to the blah that we got. So that was my favorite part. It was just a nice moment, like a pretty moment on screen.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
Probably the Wesley thread and the fact that, like you said, they did write him very well for this episode. And even though he was considered one of the children, because he was still younger than the adults on the crew, and they did mention that they only took the kids that were exceptional at things. So, of course, he was going to be one of them. But I like the fact that he kept his cool and he was able to do what he could from the inside to help fix the situation. And I really enjoyed that. I thought that was written well. I thought it was acted well. You know, besides a couple inserts and close-ups that I'm sure they had to over-exaggerate for the small TVs back then. Like, look what I have. but the overall Wesley storyline was really good. And, of course, the pretty lady doesn't hurt.
I think they edited out the line where he looked at, what is this? Oh, I get it, Mom. Wink.
Yeah, they're not good. They're not good magicians. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, no sleight of hand going on there.
Yeah. Rennie, I also taught her magic. She knows how to do the French drop, and you'll never know where that thing went.
You Federation dorks don't know the French drop.
I got her it was the Penn and Teller masterclass. I got it for her, and she mastered it. She she'll do a couple tricks, and people think she's got real magic.
She never did anything for me in New Hampshire. That kid.
We were supposed to bring the sponge balls, but I don't think we did. We had playing cards.
Yeah, we can do it next time. It gives me something to look forward to.
There you go. Next time, magic tricks.
When I'm on the space station, she can do it.
Yeah.
So no 47 in this one that I saw.
I didn't see it.
Yeah. Okay. Trivia question. You got to ask me some questions, man.
I'm asking you trivia questions.
Yeah, I feel like it's been forever since I was able to answer a
question.
trivia question.
Because I couldn't find my cards, but I have found them now.
Okay. Yeah. You said to say, was there a big story?
Why I lost them?
Oh, no, I know why you lost them. I don't know. We were talking about it. You said, let's save it for the show. So I thought there was maybe some kind of anecdote.
Oh, no, just that I changed my desk out and Rennie cleaned up again when I was reorganizing and she put them back in the box. So I couldn't find them because they were in the box.
Oh, they were where they belonged.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right. So I don't know which side I'm pulling from. So if you hear a repeat, let me know. I got you for 6 questions.
6? I got 6 this time.
Yeah, we got to even it out.
All right.
I had lost my cards for a couple weeks now.
Okay. Wow. Ooh.
All right. So
I have that much more chance to fail. Woohoo!
Okay. We have read that one. So let me try this one. Oh, that's a different kind of card. Make your own. I guess the second deck is different. I don't know. I've never played
through your head too, huh?
Yep. Okay. Who is Silik? S-I-L-I-K.
He's an Enterprise. He's the Suliban leader, basically.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Suliban leader fighting on the 22nd century front of the temporal Cold War. Star Trek Enterprise. Very good. Ding, ding, ding. Okay. Why do the Binars commandeer the USS Enterprise D in the Next Generation episode 11001001? Have you seen that one?
I don't know. I think I commented on some sexy Binar hips in that episode.
Yeah.
Anyway, because they needed to store their computer core in the Enterprise to survive some kind of electromagnetic pulse and then bring it back to their planet and reinstall and reboot their entire society.
Can you be more specific?
No,
I'm just kidding.
Something like that.
Yes, you got it. They hope to use the Starship's computer to restart their own planetary computer system. Okay. All right, very good. 2 out of 2 so far. In the 3rd season, Star Trek Enterprise episode, Extinction.
I'm so glad I'm getting Enterprise questions.
Yes. What change to the opening credits started?
Oh, they started using the word Star Trek in the title.
Ooh, ding, ding, ding. You're doing great. The title of the series changed from Enterprise to Star Trek Enterprise. I just got Enterprise right here.
Enterprise. I'm gonna make
Enterprise.
a hack shirt of the Columbia. That's
Scotty
it.
Backs. They probably got some somewhere. Maybe not Hot Topic. Maybe Target. I don't know.
I don't go to Target.
You don't go to Target.
I don't go
Dude,
anywhere. I
it's
don't
fun.
shop. I go to Main Street.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, little tiny shops.
Yeah,
Bougie
I like tiny shops.
Okay. You might know this one.
I might. Rabbit. I might.
In the motion picture, Star Trek Generations, what starship rescues survivors of the Enterprise D? Did we already do that one?
I
think we did.
I don't know. I was going to say the Farragut because
yeah, I think we already did that.
I just go with the Farragut.
Getting that. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So let me get another card. I think she alphabetizes these cards. She does that. Okay. Wrath of Khan, Edward Jellicoe. Nope, read that one. Okay. We're gonna run out of cards eventually. Ha! Okay.
All right.
The world's listening. The Matrix is listening to us. Maybe you know this one. What is Landru in the original series episode, The Return of the Archons?
He's just some guy, you know? He is the supercomputer.
Very good.
Yes.
He's a computer.
He's a computer.
Very good. Okay. To whom did Data reveal that he had been intimate with Tasha Yar? I think everyone by the end of the series.
I was going to say, it was the worst kept secret in Starfleet.
Tasha, you remember her? Yeah, me and her.
Yeah, we totally boned.
Yep, totally. Row-boned.
Who did he reveal it to? I feel like I've seen the scene.
Yeah. Now that I read the answer, it makes sense.
I'm going to guess. Why would it be? Where would it be? Shit.
This
I might not
has
get this
become a
one.
meme of many different memes.
Lore.
Nope.
Okay, you said meme, and I thought it might be Crusher because some medical thing or whatever.
Yeah, that was the off switch.
Yeah.
Her sister Ashara Yar.
Oh, that's right, the hair.
Yeah, with the hair,
the fabulous
Linda
90s
Hamilton
hair. Okay,
going on, and the meme is usually like, don't look, or I don't know, but it's always funny. Like she's asking him a question, and Data's just trying not to look because she was pretty. Ashara, she was pretty.
Yeah. Oh, I thought like a specific body part. I thought we were being more.
I'm not going to say the quiet part out loud, but you need to watch it in high definition. Is all I'm saying. If you haven't, sir,
I haven't.
Okay.
So yeah, there we go.
Now you got something to do tonight.
I'm gonna watch that in Ultra 4K.
There you go. Okay, your sixth question. I think you're. I
think I'm 4 for 5.
4 for 5.
Yeah, 4 for 5.
So your sixth question: what television network did Star Trek Voyager launch?
UPN. I know it from a certain popcorn package that somebody has somewhere. Yes.
Yes.
United Paramount Network. So 5 out of 6 ain't bad.
No, 5 out of 6 ain't bad. That's where the saying comes from.
I'm really glad that I got Silic.
Yeah, that was a good one. You had some Enterprise. You had a little bit of Voyager in there.
I got some Enterprise.
Original series.
Yeah, there we go.
Some motion picture stuff.
Maybe
pretty good.
Maybe I am of the body.
You are of the body.
Maybe.
I'm of the body.
I sing the body electric. We've been singing too much. I think it's time to maybe start wrapping up this show for everybody who's
do our final thoughts and ratings.
Yes. So I'll do my final thoughts. I'm not even going to say ambitious outing for next gen. I think it's almost like a perfunctory outing. It's like, let's take a mashup of all of Star Trek's greatest hits and then put some children in peril and not explore anything in a very compelling way. And then have everybody rescue everybody at the end. I don't know what they could have done differently, but I know they should have done a lot of things differently.
Yes,
I'm not going to sit here and fix the episode and rewrite it. I high ideals, some ambition, execution not so great. So I'm going to give this one, because I like the performances and I like the Wesley stuff, I'll give it 2.5 kidnapped children out of 5.
All right, 2.5 out of 5. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to echo what you're saying. I feel this is the 17th episode. Is that right?
Yep.
Of the season. I feel like they only had a good 15 or 13 ideas, and they had 26 episodes to fill. And I think whatever was happening with that chaos on the bridge thing, it really showed in a couple of these. And this is one of them where I think everything was done well. The casting was good. The acting was good. Directing was good. Like everybody did good, but I just don't think the story was there. So
I agree.
It might have been a rush job. You know, they obviously did better than I could do. So, you know, got to give them props for that. But for me, it just didn't land. And it's okay. I'll watch it. But it's not like one I go to, ooh, we got to watch that one with Mark Twain without the mustache. You know? So because of that, I'm going to give it 2. That's less than you. That's weird.
Wow.
Forcefully, I'll do it again. 2 forcefully falling future harps.
Okay.
because when they kidnap the kids and they're all disappearing, she's playing a harp and it just gets like it doesn't fall over, it doesn't, you know, it gets shoved over like they like whoever was second unit in that thing just didn't get the memo, and maybe the director wasn't there that day and they couldn't go back, but it was just like they didn't they like slammed it on the floor. No, it would have just fell gently. But it was more forcefully just shoved down.
Forcefully falling future harps. Somebody put that on a t-shirt.
Falling future harps.
Get busy, Scott Madison.
There you go.
It's going to be in our merch store the second we have a merch store.
Eventually, yes. We'll get there. We got a website. We're getting there. So
Yep.
So not my favorite, but it was cool to see Jerry Hardin. Acting was good. The child acting was good, like you said. Nothing cringe. Everything was enjoyable and okay. Nice episode to fall asleep to because nothing really happens.
Well, there you go. And yeah, the stakes couldn't get any lower. And who could say that about Children in Peril? That's a neat trick.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we want to know what you out there in TV land think of this episode. You can tell us right here on the YouTubes. Just comment down below. You can also find us on Patreon, patreon.com/Trexploration. Join the community over there and leave your comments. Get us on Instagram, at Trexploration Pod. At Trexploration Pod. We're eventually going to have a Blue Sky.
Blue Sky smiling at me.
Mr. Blue Sky.
Nothing but blue sky.
And in the interim, you can email us, trexplorationpod@gmail.com. Call us on the phone, 707-847-6682. The call is coming from inside the podcast. You can get us at our P.O. Box, P.O. Box 542, Bayport, New York, 11705. You can buy us a coffee. Just leave us a $5 tip. You know, just sit at the bar and put bread in our jar and say, man, what are you podding here? Buy me a coffee.
Chris will play a little ditty on the piano.
/Trexploration. So yeah, that's all the ways that you can contact us. We would love to hear from you, and you can always join us on these live feeds and comment in real time as well, as the Omnipotent Willard does.
The Omnipotent Willard.
Roll for Chiraco does a lot, and also Listen Linda. So
Listen Linda, we might have went too early for her tonight.
Yep, and I think that next up on our TNG recaps is
Season 1, Episode 18. Home Soil. Is that the one with ugly bags of mostly water?
No, I don't believe so. I think it's...
Which one is it?
Isn't it the one with the Romulan defector? Or do I just want it to be the one? I feel like James Sloan is going to be in it.
I think that's like a season 3.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's the one with ugly bags of mostly water.
All right, then I don't know. We'll be surprised. Pleasantly surprised.
We'll be surprised.
Yes. I wouldn't know I'm an ugly bag of mostly water. I never claimed
That's
to be
what humans are, yeah.
We'll also be soon, probably maybe tomorrow night, doing our Lower Decks recap for Season 5, Episode 6 of Gods and Angles.
Yes, I read that wrong in the last one. I just assumed it was angels.
Yeah. So of Gods and Angles.
That word gets transposed, and I always got to look it up.
It does, and it didn't in this case, of Gods and Angles, and very clever use.
Yes, and I didn't get it until I heard it spoken out loud, and then I think I just texted you. Oh, Angles, I get it now.
So we'll be talking about that soon, again, live here on the Trexploration YouTube feed, so you can look for the alerts on that as well.
Yes, subscribe to the Patreon so you know when we're going live, because we always put a little notification out first.
Yep, and
turn notifications on YouTube so you actually know when we're live. Yeah.
Do it all.
Do all the things. All the things. Share.
There's things and stuff. You can do stuff too. Share. So
share. She did a lot of stuff.
Share. That's why she believes in love.
So I think that about wraps it up for When the Bough Breaks. Thank you so much, Christopher. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on the live stream. We really appreciate it. And for Trexploration, I'm Albie.
And I'm Chris.
And we'll see you next time.
Your children, sell them to me. How much for the little girl?
How much for the little girl? That's funny. Yeah. So that was good. Did you ever read the...
We never did a Trek and Tell.
Oh, man.
It's okay.
It happens.
We'll do two of them next time.
I got two.
I got two as well. So we'll do two next time.
Very good. All right. Well, we got some more shows to fill.
Yeah, we got quite a few shows.
One. I can do one. I'll just do a sneak peek in the credits. Whoa. That's one of them.
Okay.
And the other one is a box from StarTrek.com. So that's cool. We got about 10 more seconds. This is what I got. Oh, did I show you this? This is really cool. I don't know if you've read it, but man.
Oh, that. Yeah, I've seen that before.
So cool. So cool.
It's kind of a hacky piece of junk.
I know the guy. It's got a unique smell. Smells like the train.
Victory.
Victory. Did you ever read the book I sent you? The my 5 chapters I wrote?
Imzadi?
No, the one I wrote. The one I wrote.
I'm sure I meant to, but I just haven't.
I sent it to like 4 people and I got 0 comments. So I was like, I guess I suck.
No, I haven't even read it. Have we not established that I am a remarkably bad person?
No, you're the best. I heart you, Chris. I hearty-eyes you. All right, I'm going to hit stop. Thank you, everyone, from the live stream for joining us. Everybody. We really appreciate it. It's so nice to just hang with everyone. And thank you, Omnipotent Willard. It was great to see you, a handsome fella. You.
We're sorry we forgot about the Trek and Tales next time.
Yeah, and we got to see the doggies. Yep. I had it written down. I just didn't read it part. Nope, I didn't read it. Oh, well. Yep.
Take care, Goober.
We'll get it, Goober. And then one of them is Milk, I think. And the other one...
Got Milk and Goober.
Got Milk.
Yep. I remember. Goober. I read.
And is there 3 of them? I think so. I don't know.
Can you do the Spock? I can't really do it. I can't do it. Oh, wow.
Fascinating.
Holy shit. Okay, we're back up.
It's good I dyed my eyebrows tonight or you wouldn't be able to see it.
I'm really freaked out by that.
Okay, bye, everybody.